And now, part 2 of Reach Me on The Fuck Is This?
The movie it presents sort of like this mystery. It's the search for who is Teddy Raymond, and the main person who's doing the detecting around who is Teddy Raymond is Kevin Connolly's character, and his way of investigative journalism is that he finds out that Teddy Raymond makes all of his phone calls from a payphone, from a random payphone in the beach, and his way of figuring out who Teddy Raymond is literally just going up and asking everyone. One older woman just whips around and pepper spray. She just
had it at the go.
She had that ready. Yeah,
like she baited him. I dare you to ask me if I'm Teddy.
And then you'd think that the hunt for Teddy Raymond would lead up to this big significant moment.
No, it was like the 28 times the charm.
2 seconds later.
Yeah.
2 seconds later,
Trial and error.
He finds Teddy Raymond, who's just a guy. He's just a guy wearing a coat in the middle of summer, and he's played by Tom Berenger from Platoon. Looking, I mean, no disrespect, Mr. Berenger, but just looking puffy and disinterested the entire way through. Yeah. We find out a little bit more about Teddy Raymond, and we find out that he wants to be left alone. He has some sort of condition where he just doesn't like being around other people, and
not good with crowds or whatever.
No, and Kevin Connolly basically says, you know, like, yo, like if you don't let me show the world that you are this guy, I'm just going to expose you anyway.
Which, of course, inevitably leads to a scene where, you know, Teddy says, like, well, I'll show you. And he drags him by, like, he almost chokes him with his scarf as he drags him towards the...
And again,
not only that, I never noticed this, but, like, he begins that, like, in the middle of the day.
Yes, I was going to say that, too.
And the next time they do it, it's at night, and they just reach the shoreline.
But they just reached the beach. It went from dusk to the dead of night, but it looked like they had, like, not a long way to walk at all. Like, the beach was right there. So, and he's still pulling him by the scarf. So, Teddy Raymond gets Kevin Connolly to stand right at the water's edge, and he cures him of smoking. And he does this
by berating him.
He gets him to yell, "I'm Roger, and I don't smoke." And that's it. That's all he does. He just gets him to scream this. One assumes for hours. And it works.
Yeah.
And he's cured.
Yep. At one point he takes away his cigarettes, and like I don't know a lot about addiction, but I have heard that if you take, like, it has to be the addict's choice to want to get better. You can't take what they're addicted to away from them and just hope that the problem goes away. They're just going to go out and get more of what they're addicted to.
Yeah, pretty much. I'm pretty sure it doesn't work like that.
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure it's not. You can't just say a mantra over and over again. And and they sit on the beach all night because, again, the sun comes up. So one assumes that he's been making Roger do this all freaking night. Very cultish. A very sort of like cultish feel. To a guy who kind of feels like he doesn't want to be a cult leader, but he's sort of accidentally inspired a cult. And it leads to an amazing moment where Roger looks away for a second, and he turns back and Teddy's gone. And it sort of feels like maybe that was meant to be the last time we saw Teddy in the movie, and it was kind of all like, oh, he was magic all along. Yeah. 2 scenes later, he's back. Yeah. And, like, the entire third act is all about him.
I figured, like, oh, this is, like, secretly a religious movie. They're going to reveal that Teddy is actually, like, a Christ-type figure.
It feels like it could very well be something that, like, Pureflix does.
Yes.
Or something.
Their attempt to do, like, a Lucky Number 11 or a Get Shorty.
Let's talk about Tom Jane.
Okay, yes.
Because Tom Jane's an amazing character.
He's great in this movie.
Oh, my God. Yeah. So, Tom Jane's first introduced, we don't know he's a cop yet. No. We see him on a job with...
As the getaway driver.
As the getaway driver with this group of bank robbers.
Who include Danny Trejo.
The name of these characters, because we put the subtitles on, so we got to see the names of these characters. There's Danny Trejo and 2 other guys. Danny Trejo is playing a character named Vic. And the other 2 characters' names are Mexican and White Trash. So, this scene is amazing, too. All of the introductory scenes in this movie...
To give you a little window into what the characters
are incredible, because they tell you nothing about who these characters are supposed to be. So, okay, we see these 4 characters in this car. We don't know Tom Jane is a cop. He pulls out a joint, and everyone's all like, what are you doing, man?
Criminals don't want their getaway driver getting high.
Yeah, the weed helps me think, which we find out later is oregano.
Yeah, because he's a cop.
But like, people who are criminals know what marijuana smells like. So you're immediately giving yourself away. So you're if anything, you're drawing more attention to yourself, Tom Jane. You're smoking an oregano cigarette. He has his badge on him. If they were to search him at any point in time, they'd find his shield right there.
It's not like in a pocket or anything. It's on the inside of his jacket.
He has like an earpiece or something on him too. So yeah, he's very bad at being undercover.
Also, his undercover getup is dressing up like a cowboy.
Oh my god, his getup is ridiculous.
He's got like the scarf.
He's
and
got this trench
duster.
coat.
Yeah, the duster. He's like got the leather pants on.
He's got
cowboy boots.
The leather holster.
He's missing a hat.
He flips the gun around. He does like a gun twirl.
It's like an old Western revolver.
So
Smith & Wesson.
Also, okay, Danny Trejo. I love this because Danny Trejo, again, is in the movie maybe for 2 minutes. Danny Trejo's first line of dialogue is, hey, let's go over this plan again. They never go over the plan. No, they never do.
The plan seems to be go into the bank without masks on.
Go into the bank without masks on. They get the money very easily. And then Tom Jane reveals he's a cop. Now, his way of... It seems like his plan. So Tom Jane pulls out this big-ass gun. And everyone in the car is instantly like, oh, look at that. Like they've never seen a gun before in their fucking lives. And Tom Jane's all like, this gun's specially made. It's a special gun. And Danny Trejo immediately goes, I want to use that gun for the job. And he switches guns with Tom Jane. And then as they're exiting the bank, he fires the gun at Tom Jane. And the gun is jammed, or the gun isn't loaded, or whatever.
Give him a loaded gun,
and Danny Trejo's all like, "You son of a bitch!" Like that was Tom Jane's plan the entire time. So
his plan would have been like, give him a loaded gun.
His gambit was to introduce a gun so enticing that the gang leader just had to have it.
Yeah. And I remind you, this is a gun that looks like it would be done at showdown at high noon.
This never would have worked. Yeah, Tom Jane's whole thing, Wolfie, his whole thing is that he can't stop killing, and he feels so bad about it that he goes to Father Paul every time, and Father Paul has just had enough.
Yeah.
He has just had enough.
He doesn't want to help him anymore.
He doesn't want to. He's just screaming at the heavens, "Thou shalt not kill!"
Meanwhile, Wolfie's he's essentially a superhero. There was that scene on the beach where he stops a mugging.
Oh man, this is incredible.
And it's like one of the best action scenes in the movie.
All of a sudden, the movie straight up turns into an action movie. It's so weird. Wolfie is just driving by this playground at night, and he sees 5 of the most stereotypical gangbangers you can imagine, harassing these 2 random women, and he gets into a gunfight. And
it's like a Western gunfight.
Yeah.
Like there's people on top of slides, on top of buildings.
Yeah, they're on top. Like he kills 2 of the gangbangers, and the other ones run away, and he assumes it's over. But then the woman's all like, "Watch out!" And there's a 3rd one taking a shot from him from the
so what does he do? He spins around, gets down on one knee, steadies a shot, and point blank.
And the guy falls into the water. Of course, it's one of those Redondo Beach playgrounds that are right next to a huge body of water. So of course the gangster just falls right into it.
Yeah.
And then he I think he calls them suckers.
Yeah.
Or punks. Yeah. Sucker. And then he twirls the gun into his holster.
It's awesome.
And then immediately goes back to Father Paul.
And then his path cross with
Colette.
With Colette and her English niece.
Literally, as they're driving the car, they smash into each other. No one calls an ambulance.
No one with a concussion lifts Eve out of the car, puts her down to the sidewalk until she is miraculously...
She's fine. Her concussion's gone, but his concussion has gotten much worse.
It kicks in.
He didn't notice his concussion until she was fine.
Yeah.
So oh, you're fine now. Okay. Oh, now I can... Because...
And what better person to look after a concussion victim than another concussion victim?
So... Colette and Eve take Wolfie back to his house, and then they never leave.
They just kind of hang out.
They just these 2 random strangers, And yeah, you get the point where it's all like, oh, we were involved in an automobile accident, you know, like, yeah, we should exchange information and everything like that.
Sure.
Why not? But
they don't leave.
Never leave his house.
They don't leave.
They don't leave. And it's crazy. And they don't leave. And like Wolfie gets up and he hears the two of them talking about Cary Elwes, leading to a very bizarre moment where he storms the set of the movie.
Breaks into his trailer.
Is about to shoot him. But then he hears the tolling of the bells, the tolling of the church bells, which I guess were just there, and instead knocks out his 2 front teeth.
Yeah.
You assume like a fairly well-known actor, of a television actor, not really some sort of thing.
Something where he's like a high-profile enough guy that
but
like
this
he's
cop,
too afraid to speak
this
out.
hotshot cop breaks into a working movie set, which is fine. I guess he's a cop; he's allowed to go wherever he wants. But he assaults and disfigures the lead actor.
You know what this movie needed?
Show.
This movie needed like a police captain to tell him that, like, hey, your antics, like, I can't have one more of your antics come across my desk. You're off the case, Wolfie.
And that's how Cary Elwes wraps up in this thing. We later on see someone's just reading a newspaper and there's just a shot of him like missing teeth and it says actor foils robbery. So I guess that was meant to imply that they spun it so that Wolfie didn't get in trouble. I don't know. It's all vague as hell. I don't know what happened.
The closure that Evie got was Wolfie goes to the house, back to like his own house.
Oh god! It's so weird.
Where Eve and Colette are just like again hanging out.
They're just hanging out on his couch.
And he drops the teeth that he put
slow motion
onto like this glass plate. And who reacts but Colette?
Yeah, Eve isn't even awake for it, and she just gives him the creepiest fucking smile.
And it's like, those teeth weren't for you, Kyra Cedric. They're for your weird English niece.
So strange. And then, okay, so like the next morning, Father Paul drives up, and he's coming to talk to Wolfie. He's coming to say, I don't want to hear your confession anymore. And he knocks on the door. And Colette answers the door. Yeah. And she's just like, oh, Wolfie's out. Him and my niece are getting breakfast, I guess. And it's like, why are you still here? It's like, Wolfie is a police officer, and he just leaves this very disturbed, recently released ex-con alone in his house. Why?
I don't know.
There's no reason for it.
It's ridiculous.
And of course, she answers the door, and her introduction to Father Paul is, oh, hi, I'm Colette. I burned my house down. I wish my husband was inside. Would you like some coffee? This is how she introduced. This woman is nuts. This woman is crazy. And I'm going to jump ahead to the ending. I wanted to talk about all of the endings together, but what's amazing is that all throughout the movie, Kyra Cedric is kind of led to believe that there's something super wrong with her. She's violent. She burned her house down almost on a whim. You hear her in the car being all like, I just knew that Teddy Raymond needed me. He needed me in his life. The surprising reveal is that she turns out to be completely right. Teddy Raymond and her get together at the end of the movie.
Yeah.
And it's played utterly sincere and serious.
And it's like, do you know why she was in prison? Like, she burned down a house and wanted to kill her husband.
There's so many little things we could talk about, but before this goes on forever, we should spend a great deal of time talking about Sylvester Stallone.
Oh God!
We cannot we cannot let this go without talking about Sylvester Stallone.
Was he the guy who had the line "Empires are built on a kiss"?
So Sylvester Stallone's character, I get the idea that he's sort of meant to be a mirror image of Teddy Raymond, but sort of like like the evil, corrupt version, because I just want to. This is his introductory scene. Listen to the dialogue they have Stallone say. Just give this a listen. This is kind of like our first introduction to this character.
Do I want to hear a political joke? No. The trouble with political jokes is they usually get elected. And why would I hold breaking news if you're a peccadillo, Senator? Right, I know it's humiliation. I guess we all live with humiliation. My prize muckraker dresses like he just fell out of a hamper, and I think he's looking for a raise because he can't afford a razor. Well, listen, if you want me to keep your indiscretion quiet, you got to give me more than 2 senators switching sides. Right. Nobody loves a favor more than me, but it better have veracity, truthfulness, and authenticity. If you can bring that, you call me back. If you can't, forget it. All right. These guys get elected.
Every line of dialogue is like that.
He pontificates like a
He
motherfucker.
does not have a single normal-sounding line in the entire movie. I also want to point out...
I don't like political jokes because political jokes get elected.
And and that's... Yeah, absolutely. And he like... It seemed like he waited until Kevin Connolly entered the restaurant before he said that line because, like, what a natural way to start a phone conversation.
Yeah.
I also want to point out, before we get too far into it, that Sylvester Stallone, throughout this entire movie, is wearing thick glasses and a fedora.
And sports a goatee.
And looks nothing like what he looks like on the DVD cover of this. Not a thing. This is just a random image of Stallone that they put on here to try and, I guess, sell this as an action movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it doesn't look anything like what Stallone looks like.
The cover
in
of this looks like it's like a Taken-esque action, a
Yeah.
high-octane action
And
movie.
that's clearly how they were trying to sell it. Can we talk about the painting scene?
Oh, God.
Oh, my
In the painting
God.
scene, he is painting in what looks like a bomb shelter. Like, just like this almost windowless environment.
I guess it's his studio. Yeah.
And he's a newspaper. Oh no, he's a online journalist or
He's an online journalist. He's an editor.
He's an editor
of some sort of like Huffington Post type website. I guess they don't go into it really.
Yeah.
So
now you and I have like met some journalists. They don't have like they're not super wealthy.
Yeah,
they
certainly the editors don't roll around in like sports cars with the suicide doors, and they spend time like creating art. So yeah, Stallone is painting
in his private art studio.
In his private art studio. We just see him. He's not painting. He's hurling paint at this canvas, just like voraciously and
swiping
furious.
with like a paint trowel, like something you'd use to paint your walls.
And I wish I could play the audio for the painting scene in full, but we don't have the time for it. I do want to include just the tail end of it here, where he's just berating Kevin Connolly, seemingly for no reason. But give a listen to this.
What do you mean you haven't eaten breakfast? When you're on a mission, nothing else matters. Not food, not hygiene, not women. I would throw my mother under a bus, under 4 buses, to complete a mission. You see, that's the difference between you and me. And I ain't saying I'm proud of it because I'm not. But when I'm focused on something, everything else around me dies. I'll try to bring it back to life later on, but it stays dead until I complete the mission. Whereas you try to keep everything alive, and that's why you're a loser. You're the third man through the door. You're a fart catcher. You're either toothless or ruthless. Now you go out and find this guy, this Teddy Raymond, because his destruction is your salvation. His demise is your transition from jerk-off to journalist. You're a figure painting. Be a masterpiece. Now get up.
Like he's giving it a Rocky-esque speech.
Your finger painting, be a masterpiece. I wouldn't be surprised if Stallone wrote that himself.
That's how when it is done.
So we should talk about how this movie wraps up. I mean, this movie has so many random characters and odd casting decisions. We haven't even talked about Terry Crews, who...
There's really not a hell of a lot.
There's not much to say. Terry Crews is in the movie. There's not much to say about his character. He's like Teddy Raymond's business associate.
It's against type. It's
They're
weirdly against.
I mean, we haven't even gone into that. We haven't gone into Tourette's guy.
Oh yeah, which was not handled that well.
No, not at all. He's this stuntman who has Tourette's,
which is like the bad comedian version of Tourette's.
Yeah, it's not acted terribly
not
well.
Tasteful at all.
But again, it has no effect on the movie. Also, having zero effect on the movie is Nelly. He plays a rapper named Eruption who was in jail and again found Reach Me, saved his life literally when someone tried to stab him, and the book blocked the knife, and now he has the #1 single in the world, and he's going around as this self-help spouting rapper. Yeah, and then Terry Crews gives him shit for having using dirty language.
Yeah.
Potty mouth in front of a woman?
Show some respect.
A little bit, and it's all like, what? Women can swear.
Yeah, you can
Women
swear.
can totally swear. That's, what are you talking
That's
about?
nothing to do with like self-help.
No, these characters all have their own stories. They all go through different arcs. And the denouement of the movie is all of these characters meeting on a pier. Kevin Connolly has convinced Teddy Raymond to finally make a public appearance, essentially blackmailing him.
Yeah.
I guess his thinking is that, like, Teddy's whole thing is, like, the whole thing to reach me is, like, you have to face your fears. And Teddy's fear is public speaking. And it's not just a fear, he has a phobia about being in crowded areas. And then Kevin Connolly is all like, if, like, you have a fear, your book is all about facing your fears. If you don't face your fear and talk to this group of people,
you're a fraud.
You're a fraud, and I'll expose you. I don't know what line of thinking that is.
I don't think that would hold a lot of water. That is, like, perfectly understandable. There are plenty of, like, successful authors who are, like, total recluses. You can have good advice and still not be, the best follower of your own advice.
And also, what I don't understand is that, like, if Teddy's whole thing was that he doesn't like to do public appearances, that's fine. We see,
write another book. It seems to be helping a lot of people.
We see YouTube clips of people doing public readings. Why doesn't he just do a video?
Why doesn't he just, like, have a one-on-one interview?
Yeah, that's not like a public thing. Yeah, exactly. It's never explained, but no.
Start a vlog.
So he berates Teddy into doing this. All of the characters that we have met,
everyone,
are at this.
Yeah. Denise,
Denise,
and
Tommy.
Wolfie,
Even though, it is so weird for Tommy and Denise to. Tommy himself says,
"There's no reason for me to be here.
What are we doing here?" And Denise's answer is all like, well, this is the book that the slow guy was reading. This is why you didn't get beat up. Don't you want to see what all the fuss is about? No!
Gangsters are after me.
We should get out of
here.
We
should skip town.
And that turns out to be an excellent point because
who shows up?
Almost as soon as Teddy starts talking, does Frank show up. And it's very weird because it sort of feels like this is meant to be like the big moment where we finally get to hear Teddy Raymond speak and finally get to say what his book is about and hear the words that have touched so many people. And the second he starts talking, Frank shows up and we don't really get to hear
the action starts following Frank and everybody else that he's, like, leading by gunpoint.
That's right.
So I'm just, like, led to believe that the writer couldn't come up with, like, anything good.
Yeah, exactly. Or he did, or he wrote something, and then on the day, there's, like, the footage exists of Tom Berenger talking for, like, 10 minutes. And then he's in the editing room and he's all like,
Jesus Christ.
Oh, this is terrible. Oh, I wrote shit.
Yeah.
Okay, let's bring in Tom Sizemore earlier now.
Yeah.
And so it leads to this big Mexican standoff.
That everybody wants to get in on.
Everyone gets in on. So Frank, at gunpoint, takes Tommy,
like, they just
Denise,
wander into a gunfight.
And Dominic and Thumper. 2 guys successfully manage to kidnap 4 people and a dog, and they go into, like, this, like, tilt-a-whirl room, where all the people run away, and they're all pointing guns at each other, and then Wolfie sees this action happening
and gives the priest his gun.
Well, the priest says, "Give me your gun." The priest is all like, "You need to give me your gun before," and he does.
Like, the one case where, like, you should be okay with. First of all, like, a cop has to be okay with killing. I think that's fair to say.
So, like,
especially when there's, like, criminal activity going down. I think they could
imply that, like, maybe he always goes for the kill rather than incapacitating someone or, like, shooting someone or whatnot.
Yeah.
But
whatever, he's the Punisher.
Yeah, he's the Punisher. He's basically just playing Cowboy Punisher.
Yeah.
But anyway, Wolfie wanders into this with his no gun, just showing them his badge, dick in the wind, and then right in the middle of the stand-up, Teddy decides to get in on it for some reason.
To talk him down.
Teddy and Colette just wander in here, and it all ends with Wolfie getting shot.
Wolfie gets shot.
And
he lives, but
Frank, they wrestle the gun away from Frank, and then Tommy sets Beezy on Frank, leading to
the most expensive shot.
Expensive shot in the movie. This shot of this, like, 2-second shot of a fully CGI Dachshund flying through the air,
leaping towards the camera,
latching onto Tom Sizemore's nose, blood going everywhere, and then, like, Wolfie is, like, lying on the ground. Danny Aiello's all like, "I'll never have another drink again," and then Tom Jane's all like, "I heard that," because that was the whole point.
Yeah.
This wasn't about Wolfie learning not to kill people. It was about alcoholism. the entire time. And everything just tied itself together in a nice little bow.
Then we flash forward to like 18 months later.
18 months later.
Where we see the two goons, Thumper and Dominic, opening a Scottish-themed restaurant.
What, did you catch the name?
No.
It was something ridiculous. It was something like Butterscotch Junction. Probably not. I can't remember.
I hope it is.
I can't remember.
So, yeah, Dominic, he's the one that had the dream of being a chef. He's the one that's the talented chef.
And they open a Scottish restaurant that serves haggis and tatties and nips and all of the... and everyone's wearing kilts and there's bagpipe music.
Young black man's dream is to open a Scottish-themed restaurant.
Scottish-themed again, because he's been friends with Thumper for so long.
I guess so.
They had so many conversations about the Highlands and about Scottish culture and everything, even though Thumper can barely string 2 words together.
Turns out he's the idea man.
He's the idea man behind all of it. And also, I want to go back to when Thumper was convincing Dominic to do this, he was saying we could open a restaurant. It'll be better for your heart. That is a line written by someone who has never worked in the service industry before.
Oh, yeah.
I understand that there's probably a lot of stress involved in being like a trained hitman. Opening your own restaurant, being the head chef of your own restaurant, particularly a niche Scottish restaurant in California.
Yeah, I give that place like maybe a year.
One dinner rush, Dominic is going to drop dead in the kitchen. That is not going to be good for his heart whatsoever.
It looked to me like there were no other kitchen staff.
No, I think there was like one other guy, but they looked so happy. I really felt like Dominic and Thumper kind of had like a of mice and men thing.
They had
that sort of a relationship.
They were the most likable characters in the movie.
I guess. Yeah, and then tying up with everyone else. So yeah, we see Colette and Teddy walking hand in hand on the beach. We say, you know what? There's such an influx of characters. We have not mentioned Lauren Cohan's character.
Oh, right.
And like, okay.
She's Roger's love interest, apparently.
Who is introduced in this video as another person that Teddy Raymond has saved. We know
it's a character they seem to have wrote as the story went.
She has a hair lip, which tons of people comment on, but is barely noticeable. Yeah. Really, not an issue at all. And it's revealed that she used to have a stutter that Teddy ended up curing in the same way Roger. We just got her to yell at the ocean, the dead of night.
It looked kind of harrowing in the flashback. And we saw it in black and white.
Yeah, and she doesn't have a stutter anymore. And she's introduced to Roger. They don't like each other because he works for Sylvester Stallone. She doesn't like Sylvester Stallone. And then the next time we see her is when they run into Teddy. And
after he's cured Roger.
After he's cured Roger, and Teddy's all like, he's literally forcing me to go do this speaking engagement, and she looks kind of like surprised and outraged, and she turns around, and she runs over to Kevin Connolly, and she kisses him.
Absolutely no romantic chemistry between these two characters.
Two characters who have spoken for 2 minutes, and they're just instantly in love. And then, of course, and then it's also revealed that she turns out to be Teddy's daughter.
Just a hunch on Roger, where he was just like, are you his daughter? Yeah.
Yeah, because it's like, Teddy says, my wife died of cancer. And then, like, later on, her character says, my stutter came back after my mom died. And then, like, there's this scene where he's putting 2 and 2 together. He's like, oh, you're his daughter. And she's just like, yeah. And it's like, why was that even a reveal? Why was that a secret? That doesn't tie into anything. There's no big thing that came of that. But anyway, those two characters get together. Weirdly,
they're a thing.
He's written a novel, and then Tom...
Wolfie and Eve become a thing.
Now, did you feel... And again, that was a weird scene. There are so many weird scenes, but that was... Did you get... So, like, it shows them on a film set or whatever.
Yeah, she's rehearsing
her lines. Did you get the feeling that, like, Wolfie didn't want to be with her?
Yeah, he was kind of aloof about
the way he was acting. It was all like he wanted to be anywhere but there. And then he pulls out his cell phone, checks it, and says, oh, there's going to be another...
Oh, babe, I got to take this.
There's going to be another bank robbery.
Yeah, meanwhile, it says, like, low battery on it or something.
As if that's a thing that just happens.
In my experience, that doesn't fly.
That
doesn't work.
Hold on. There's going to be another bank robbery.
Yeah.
And he
what's that, Chief? Yeah, like.
And he runs away.
Whatever you were trying to reach.
It totally plays like he just checked it. Like, oh, I'm getting a call. Oh, I gotta go, babe.
Like, this is gonna take a while.
It's a weird thing. It really does play like Wolfie is this guy who's totally fine with killing people. It's his priest who has a fucking issue with it.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, these two random women crash into his car
insert themselves into his life.
insert themselves into his life and refuse to leave.
And we're meant to believe that those are supposed to, like, the priest likes that they're around in his life.
And he just can't, he can't get away from, I think the only reason he gets away from Colette is because she hooks up with Teddy, who probably shouldn't be letting this controlling, manipulative woman into his life.
He seems happy enough.
Yeah, totally. All of these relationships are going to end badly. I actually did write it down. It's called the Hopscotch Tavern.
The Hopscotch
Tavern. The Hopscotch Tavern. Because the kid was playing hopscotch!
Oh, jeez.
Oh my god! I just got that!
There is a reason.
Oh, well,
Are you happy now that you rewatched this
I am! I'm so... Watching it 3 times...
You're learning new things.
Really did.
It's like the Big Lebowski. You spot new things
oh
each time you watch
god.
it.
That's so fucking stupid.
Oh,
alright,
Jesus.
so the last thing that I want to do is... I actually wanted to do this in the intro when I was talking about the DVD box cover. But I want you to take a quick look. I showed you the DVD box cover. This is the film's theatrical poster. And if you can imagine it, it's actually even worse.
Oh my god.
So what we have here is we have a couple of the characters who are realized they're sort of, it looks like they've taken like still photographs of them, but then they've like painted over them.
That looks like street art. That looks like some artist that you would see around Gastown selling sketches of celebrities.
It does. That's absolutely what it looks like.
Yeah.
Like they've got like...
I mean, they're them from the movie, but like...
They are. They've got this grid set up that looks like it's supposed to be 9 characters, but they just gave up at 8.
Yeah, and they put like a heart.
And they put a heart there. Which is very odd.
There's a different font than there is on the DVD box.
There is. And the thing that I want to point out is this poster has, again, we'll put a link in the description so you can see this for yourself.
An image of it, yeah.
But this poster does something that posters do sometimes, is that for the actors' names, they just put their last names. And that only works sometimes. Like
that works with a Stallone.
Stallone
that works.
is able to do that. Snipes, Connery. But this is just all of their last names. And in some cases... Like, I had to look up who some of these actors are. And in other cases, it's confusing. Like, you look at this and it's like, okay, Stallone, sure. Sizemore, all right. Elwes, Cruz, sure. There's only a few characters that could be. And then you get to stuff like Henstridge. But I think like, oh, Natasha Henstridge from Species. Oh, she's in this. No, Elizabeth Henstridge, who plays Eve from Marvel Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Okay. And then you're like...
No disrespect to
no disrespect. O'Hara. Oh, like...
Catherine O'Hara?
Catherine O'Hara, yeah, absolutely. No, David O'Hara from Braveheart. This is why this shit is confusing. This is why you can't do that for actors who aren't established or have names that are the same name as another famous person. It makes no fucking sense.
What order are they in? Because if
they're in alphabetical order.
Oh, because I was going to say if it starts with Jane Stallone, I would have been like, who the hell is Jane Stallone?
Super briefly, I just want to mention one thing. Midway through shooting this movie, one of the film's producers backed out and sued for a return of $1 million, which forced Hertzfeld and Stallone and the remaining 2 producers, who incidentally are Hertzfeld's wife and Cary Elwes' brother. So it was a real family production, this one, to turn to Kickstarter. They asked for $2,500, which they got.
What was their stretch goal?
But they later withdrew. Because they turned to Indiegogo, which had a more flexible and broader capabilities. What does that mean?
Well...
Because I don't really understand Kickstarter and Indiegogo. So it's like, they got the money, but then they gave the money
a little bit more
back?
They just need a little bit... Oh, I bet you they did not give the money back. You know, for people who donate $50, we'll put you a little shout out in the credits. For people who donate like $100, you'll have a walk-on role. You know,
so their Indiegogo...
That's how fucking Stallone's brother got to be in this movie.
Their Indiegogo campaign was set at $50,000, and it ended a week later with $178,640. The final budget of the movie was $5 million. I have looked everywhere. I cannot find the box office returns for this. I'm guessing it didn't make $5 million back.
No.
It had a limited release in a handful of cities and was released on video on demand the same day. So I'm guessing probably
no.
not a profitable movie whatsoever.
Well, I am happy to be one of, the 50 people in the world who have seen this movie.
So, Reach Me. Wow. One of the strangest movies I've ever watched 3 times within the space of the same year.
I had no idea what to expect. It just doesn't work.
And isn't this and imagine put yourself in the perspective of someone, imagine that the video store experience was still a thing, and you were going through the shelves, and you saw this DVD, and you saw the way it was, and it's Stallone and Thomas Jane, and cop cars are exploding, stop at nothing, this was, and you get home, and you watch this.
Yeah.
And this movie comes on.
Would
you be angry, or would you be delighted?
I would be furious if I saw this.
Most people probably turn this off midway through.
It seems like it wants to be like a Get Shorty or a Seven Psychopaths kind of a stylized dark comedy. It's not. It's not funny.
It's really not.
The action is almost non-existent.
And when it is there, it's highly stylized and over in a fraction of a second.
Characters are not likable. They make decisions for themselves even before the story gets going that make absolutely no sense.
No, they're poorly introduced. Almost every introductory scene of this character leaves you thinking, who is this?
The fact that the best person in the movie, Kelsey Grammer, is only in for 2
minutes.
Yeah, he has less than 2 minutes of screen time.
I can see why he made the box cover, because he is the best part of this movie. Would you recommend this?
Yes.
Yes.
I would recommend.
I had a great time watching this. I really did.
Just to prove that it's real. Yeah.
Just to prove that this is an actual thing that exists, which doesn't mean that there aren't parts of it where it does get a little meandering, but if you just give it a second, something crazy will happen.
Something stupid will happen.
If it starts to get a little boring, give it 2 minutes and something fucking strange.
If you find yourself just drifting out, wait until Stallone's first scene. That's
just wait, because he's got 3 scenes in the movie and they're all amazing.
Yeah,
they're all the best. And in retrospect, I can see why Kelsey Grammer, Stallone, and Thomas Jane are the 3 people who made it to this DVD box cover, because they are the most memorable parts of this movie. Yeah, that's Reach Me. And with that, we will wrap up the first episode of The Fuck Is This?
This was a lot of fun.
This is what this was. Yeah. We hope you enjoyed it. And if you enjoyed this, please tell your friends.
And thank you for sticking with us for the whole thing.
Thank you for sticking with us. We're not sure at this point how long this is going to be. We promise. We're going to try and make this as close to an hour as possible. There's just... there's so much to talk about. There was so much to talk about this strange fucking movie. But anyway, thank you so much for joining us, ladies and gentlemen. We'll catch you next time. Have a great one.
Bye, guys.